could be worth up to $287 million. ESPN, the first to report the news. Amanda Anisimova upset top seed Arena Sabalenka today in 3 sets at Wimbledon for the 13th seeded American. It's her first Grand Slam final. She'll face off against Iga Swiatek, the 8th seed, in Saturday's ladies final at the All England Club. Doug, back to you.
It's Doug Gottlieb Show, Fox Sports Radio. Let's get to John Palmarosi. He joins us. JP, of course, covers Major League Baseball for Fox Sports, for the MLB Network, and for us here on Fox Sports Radio. JP, what's wrong with the Dodgers?
Doug, good afternoon. A happy almost all-star break. A couple of things stand out about the Dodgers. Number one, let's remember the 2 teams they just played. The Astros, who have the second best record in the American League, and the Brewers, who are one of the hottest and best teams in the National League. So it's not as though they're playing poorly against bad competition. But what I'll say is this. Mookie Betts is not having a Mookie Betts type season. The bullpen has been dealing with injuries all season long. And I do think it's important to note that their recent slide coincides with the injury to Max Muncy. So overall, they are not as good of a team as they had at the end of last season. They're still a really good team. Still have obviously one of the best records in baseball. So let's not get carried away with this recent slide. But what this tells me, Doug, is what honestly has been true a lot of the last couple of years, is they are one of the very best teams in baseball. They are not an inevitable champion, nor were they that last year. This is
a 1-1. He might have hit one out of the ballpark there. Out to right and deep. Second deck. He squared the bunt 2 pitches ago. And Kyle Stowers rips number 16 into the seats. Tied at 1, bottom 2.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
Pitch to Connor Norby. He drills out to right center and deep. Frelick back. Track wall. It is gone. Connor Norby. He's getting right. 1-1 pitch. That one hammered out to left center field and deep. Martian Rojas back. They're looking up, and it's gone. Wag attack. A 2-run homer.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins, and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
All right, here we go. Nice job, Ahmed. Welcome. We're live from Great American Ballpark here in Cincinnati, Ohio. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio. It's Fox Sports 940 Miami. We bring you game 92 of 162, and it's time for a series win. And it's time to start a new road win streak. Miami's 11-game unbeaten run away from the 305 was snapped by the Reds as Cincy took Game 3 last night 7-2. One element that's still intact, the Marlins road series streak. Miami's won 3 sets in a row away from Lone Depot Park. We're pumped to bring you Game 4, series finale here between the 47-46 Cincinnati Reds and your now 42-49 Miami Marlins. Cal Quantrill will take the ball in the final game in Cincy, facing off against his former manager, Tito Francona. Remember, Cal spent some years in Cleveland with the Guardians. Nick Lodolo will go opposite. Another southpaw the Marlins will face. He'll take the ball for the Reds to make his 19th start of the season. Weird time. Usually on a getaway day, we start at 1, 2 o'clock. Tonight, we will start at 5:10 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Thursday afternoon, late afternoon with Jack McMullen and Craig Minervini. I'm Steven Strom. We got a great show for you ahead. We're going the distance, and we thank you for your participation. Well, earlier, if you were on X or YouTube, we did stream our interview with Thomas White and Joe Mack, who are off to the Futures game. They will participate on Saturday in Atlanta. We'll play some bites, some good cuts from that interview. Tommy Thrall, one of the radio voices of the Cincinnati Reds, who's in year 7 with the team, will join the program. He will get us ready for Game 4. We'll get you out of the count with Cal and Lodolo. Jack and Craig will jump in for some back and forth, our Expo question of today at Marlins Radio and Steve's Guarantee to Victory. So we'll begin here with Joe Mack and Thomas White. And if you don't know who those two are, I'll give you a very brief introduction. Thomas White, 20-year-old southpaw, number 1 prospect for the Marlins. He taps in at 31 overall in MLB Pipeline. 9 starts in high A Beloit this year, 2.83 ERA over 35 innings pitched. He was promoted to Double A on June 18th, and through 3 starts, he's thrown to a 2.19 ERA, 12 and a third innings pitched. Now, White was in the Futures game last year, so this is his second time going in his very young career. Joe Mack, 22-year-old catcher for the Marlins, number 4 prospect, was named to his first Futures game, and he did it by being promoted when Augustin Ramirez was promoted from AAA to the big leagues. Joe Mack was promoted from AA to AAA. And in AA this year, Joe Mack hit .318 with over 1,000 OPS, 3 home runs, 4 doubles, 5 RBIs. He really earned that promotion, and he's starting to figure things out at the AAA level. .261, 8 home runs, 31 RBIs, a .752 OPS. So we begin here with Joe Mack and what his reaction was when he was named and how he was named to the Futures game.
Yeah, I mean, taking it back to a couple weeks ago in Syracuse, we were just, playing games and we finished the game, we won, and came in, and our manager wanted everybody in the locker room, and basically gave a quick speech and then told me. So it was really cool, and a lot of cool experience to celebrate it with your teammates and your coaches and all that stuff. And I'm very, very excited to be selected for this opportunity and, get to go out and perform for the team and, just have a good time. So I'm very, very excited.
So these guys obviously skipped each other, with Joe Mack being promoted to AAA, and then you had Thomas White being promoted to AA. So the question is, going into Saturday, are you going to ask your manager, Chipper Jones, if you guys can throw to each other?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
I think dream scenario would be get a little start. I get to start and Joe can catch me, so we get the whole warm up together. I think that would be dream scenario. I don't know if you have that kind of pull.
How often do you guys throw it to each other, at least in spring training this year?
A couple times. I think I've caught you like 3-4 times maybe in spring training.
Yeah,
and then
this year more than last.
Yes, yeah, a little bit, but I didn't catch you in a game, did I?
No, we had a couple bullpens, maybe a live VP, if that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely no game action there.
Yeah, so we got to get our game going.
Yeah. So I've thrown to Augustin more than I've thrown to Joe.
That's crazy.
Okay, so now Jack McMullen posed a question again. That's Joe Mack and Thomas White. Joe Mack has really come out of nowhere. He was a big round pick for the Marlins and struggled his first couple seasons, figured it out last year. And again, we read you the numbers, was promoted to AAA this year, but everyone talks about his mental makeup and his character. Jack McMullen asked him, what makes you so special, Joe?
I feel like it's kind of different because different teams have different people and, different players of some sorts. And I feel like for me, I'm a guy who, wants the absolute best out of everybody, the pitchers especially, because we're working together and, I'm back there fighting for you. I'm always trying to work for you and going with you. And, if I see something or anything, I'm always open to say it. I don't want to hold anything back, and I want to be super honest with you guys and just, help you be as best as you can. And, the blocking, the receiving, the throwing, that's all the work that, we've done as kids, as pros, as minor leaguers, as all that stuff. So it's just continuing to refine that, get better at that, and, just give it all to the pitchers because, we're here for you guys and we want the absolute best for you. So, trying to create good relationships on the field and then also off the field as well.
All right, that was 22-year-old number 4 prospect catcher for the Miami Marlins, Joe Mack. And Mack is the first Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp since Sixto Sanchez to participate in the MLB Futures game. That was back in 2019. Now, back to the number 1 prospect who's going to his second Futures game in Thomas White, 20-year-old southpaw. We mentioned the numbers as well. 2.19 ERA and 12 and a third, 3 starts in his new home in AA Pensacola. But, of course, he's not satisfied. Here was White on how his season is going so far.
I'm feeling pretty good overall. I think there's a lot of things that I personally think I could do a lot better. The numbers are fine. They're doing pretty good, but in my opinion, I could be a lot better. Just more consistent, less walks, that kind of thing. And I think, getting to Double-A and getting around Jared Eichhoff, the pitching coach here. He's been great so far. And then just kind of simplifying and not trying to do too much, and realize that I do have a little bit of time to work on some stuff. So I think just honestly just simplifying, and then, the stuff is good, and it'll continue to get better the more that I guess stop thinking on the mound as much. And I think, the more I continue to do that and, kind of prove to myself that I really, can make the game as simple as possible. And then I think the stuff will just progressively get a little better as we go. So, I'm just going to keep working my butt off, and we'll see how it goes.
Man, you got to love to hear that from your number one prospect, who feels like he's not throwing his best stuff at 2.19 ERA, 12 and a third, 3 starts in Double-A Pensacola, and he's only 20 years old. So again, make sure to check it out. We have the full interview on our YouTube page and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But Marlins fans, make sure to check out on Saturday afternoon in Atlanta, 4 o'clock p.m. You're going to see Thomas White throw, and you will see Joe Mack at some point catch. We shall see if manager Chipper Jones will pair those two together on Saturday afternoon at Truist Park. All right, good start to the program. We will break here. We'll get Tommy Thrall on, the radio voice of the Cincinnati Reds. He'll help us preview Game 4, what he's seen from the Marlins, plus what this version of Nick Lodolo has looked like here in 2025. 5:10 first pitch, Marlins Reds, right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
0-1 pitch, here it is. Line drive, base hit, left center. Hicks went back for a moment. He's still going to get the green light from Lally and score. First and third, Miami, RBI for Dane Myers, and the Marlins have tied up the ball game. Reds in the home white. Here's the pitch. Hit well to right field. Going back is Benson. It's over his head and off the wall. Hernandez scores. Here's Myers around. He scores. Another double for the X-Man, Xavier Edwards. 2 RBIs and a 3-1 Miami lead.
He is.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
You have a lot of bald guys to choose from.
2-2 pitch. Fist to the center. Goes off the glove of Dela Cruz into center field. Here comes Edwards around third. The Marlins have 4 in the inning and still nobody out. RBI single for Jesus Sanchez, his 30th ribby of the year. This 10-game winning streak in the visiting unis. Pitch to Ramirez, chopped the third. It's a high one over the head of Marte. Rounding third, easily scoring is Sanchez. Lopez over to third, and Augustine pulls in a second with a double, his 17th double of the year. The Bluebirds are coming here in Cincinnati, a 5-run inning. It's a Baltimore chop. Texas Leaguer is the other one. And now here's Stowers with a drive deep to right field. Benson is going back at the wall. He'll have room. He makes the catch. This will move up 2 runners, though. One of them will score in Lopez. Ramirez goes to third, and Stowers gets his 30th RBI in now a 6-run third inning.
When magical stuff can happen.
Here's the 1-2 to Norby. Hits it in the air to right center field. Benson going over there, makes the catch on the run, but it's going to be an easy tag for Augustine Ramirez. Back-to-back sacrifice flies for Miami, and it's now 7-1. Fish.
And I want to add this, too, because when Jack interviewed Marlins president,
you'd rather that than 2 strikeouts. Here's Edwards. Line drive, base hit.
Welcome back here to Marlins on Deck. Steven Strom. Tommy Thrall joins us now as we get you ready for a 5:10 first pitch series finale of this 4-game set. Let's start with Tito Francona, because I went to his media availability. It was authentic. It was raw. He's a 2-time World Series champion. How have you felt the influence of Tito on this club this year?
Well, everything you said right there. I think that's why he's so great at what he does. He is authentic. He's as genuine of a human being as you could find. That there's just not a lot of fluff there. It's just it is what it is with him, and I think guys respect that. I mean, he will go to guys when there's an issue. He'll deal with it. Sometimes he'll deliver some tough news, and then he'll pump them up when they need to be pumped up. I mean, he has a knack for handling people, and that's the number one thing about being a manager. He gets it, and then all the baseball stuff. There's few in our game that are better than him at that.
What was the expectation when he did come here? Was it playoffs? You guys are hovering over 500 here.
It's hard to say. Last year I think was disappointing, obviously, when you end up making wholesale changes like the Reds did. But you kind of look at some of the things on the I guess when you look at the margins a little bit, where there are areas where last year's team maybe could have been a little better, probably. They struggled with runners in scoring position. They would win games 1 of series but couldn't win the series. Things like that where you thought, well, maybe if some of the things that were problematic last year could get cleaned up, maybe that's where a manager could make a difference. But at the same time, a team that's in the situation that the Reds are in, and many other teams around Major League Baseball that just don't have the resources to go out and sign a bunch of big-name free agents and have the organizational depth, you have to have guys stay healthy. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. All that being said, I think if this team performs at 100% all year long, then maybe they could be a playoff team. But I think right now the team's kind of about where you maybe hoped it would be, but I think the potential's still there that maybe they could go on a little run in the second half. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. They need to get a couple arms back, though, that's for sure.
Tommy Thrall with us now. Game 7 here, final game of this season series. The Marlins have gone 4-2. Just what have been your takeaways of this Marlins team here in 25?
They are pesky, man. They're a fun team to watch.
Every broadcaster says that's the first word.
It's great. I mean, I think that's awesome. They're scrappy. They play the game the right way. They remind me a little bit of the Reds team, like I guess it was 3 years ago that went on that unexpected run, had the long winning streak. Marlins had the long winning streak, where they just kind of, they frustrate teams because they'll take an extra base when maybe you think they shouldn't.
Sure.
They do little things because the athleticism, they make the most out of the athleticism that they've got. They put pressure on the opposition. I love to watch that brand of baseball. It's nice to see a team play and cater their game to who they are as a team and not try to be somebody else.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see them form an identity with not a ton of experience from a player perspective. Okay, we will see another southpaw, Nick Lodolo. What has this version of Nick Lodolo looked like here this season?
He's got a changeup that's been really good. He's always had the good big curveball. Sure. He's controlling that a little bit more. I think the changeup's a better pitch now for him than it has been in the past. He's still got a really good fastball. I mean, this is a left-hander that has a devastating hook, but he still throws 95, and now the changeup's a nice addition for him. So he's commanding everything a little bit better right now. But, he still has his hiccups along the way. But when he's on, he's still just as good as ever.
Okay, last one. I was going to ask you another baseball question. I want to do Mount Rushmore of Cincinnati athletes 2025 version. Okay, if you had to give me 4 athletes right now that are running this city, of course Burrow's got to be on that list. Give me your 4.
Oh, man. Joe Burrow definitely and Ellie are probably at the top. Sure. Yeah, there's no question. And probably just depends on what season it is. And then after that, it gets really tricky.
Okay.
I think when you look at this team, guys that are really popular on this team, TJ Friedel is just as blue-collar of a player as you could ask for. And this team likes those kinds of blue-collar guys. So this city likes that. So I think I don't know if he's on that right now because I don't know that he's got the profile big enough for that. I'll tell you.
Jamar Chase?
Yeah, definitely Jamar Chase. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're asking me to reach into my football knowledge, and it's baseball.
I threw you on the spot, Tommy.
Yeah, it's tough because I got to be honest, I don't pay a ton of attention to football in the football season. But Jamar Chase, who else they got over there across the street? Probably him. Sam Hubbard's another guy that's widely popular. He's from here, so he would be in there. Those are some guys. They'd be in the conversation. People in Cincinnati would tell me I'm crazy. They'd have some better names on there, but let's throw those guys on there for now. Yeah,
I like it. Thank you so much for the time, Tommy. I really appreciate it. Coming up next, we'll get you out of the count with Lodolo and Cal Quantrill. 5:10 first pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
0-1 pitch. Here it is. Line drive, base hit, left center. Hicks went back for a moment. He's still going to get the green light from Lally and score. First and third, Miami RBI for Dane Myers, and the Marlins have tied up the ball game. Reds in the home white. Here's the pitch. Hit well to right field. Going back is Benson. It's over his head and off the wall. Hernandez scores. Here's Myers around. He scores. Another double for the X-Man, Xavier Edwards. 2 RBIs and a 3-1 Miami lead.
He is.
Oh, yes, that's a good one.
You have a lot of bald guys to choose from.
2-2 pitch. Fist to the center. Goes off the glove of De La Cruz into center field. Here comes Edwards around third. The Marlins have 4 in the inning and still nobody out. RBI single for Jesus Sanchez, his 30th ribby of the year, this 10-game winning streak in the visiting unis. Pitch to Ramirez, chopped to third. It's a high one over the head of Marte. Rounding third, easily scoring is Sanchez. Lopez over to third. and Augustine pulls in a second with a double, his 17th double of the year. The Bluebirds are coming here in Cincinnati, a 5-run inning. It's a Baltimore chop. Texas Leaguer is the other one. And now here's Stowers with a drive deep to right field. Benson is going back at the wall. He'll have room. He makes the catch. This will move up 2 runners, though. One of them will score in Lopez. Ramirez goes to third, and Stowers gets his 30th RBI in now a 6-run third inning.
When magical stuff can happen.
Here's the 1-2 to Norby. Hits it in the air to right center field. Benson going over there, makes the catch on the run, but it's going to be an easy tag for Augustine Ramirez. Back-to-back sacrifice flies for Miami, and it's now 7-1 Fish.
And I want to add this, too, because when Jack interviewed Marlins president,
you'd rather that than 2 strikeouts.
Only at participating locations.
Hey, this is Xavier Edwards here, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
Well, thank you very much, Xavier Edwards. Thank you very much for joining us here on this Thursday late afternoon, 5:10 first pitch series finale here in Cincy. The Marlins have done a nice job against the Redlegs this year, 4-2. It's the 7th game and the final game of this season series. It'll be Cal Quantrill who will go opposite Nick Lodolo. I'm Steven Strom, host of the program here, Fox Sports 940 Miami. Ahmed back in the studio. Craig Minervini and Jack McMullen are also with us. Those two have your call at 5:10. Let's get you ahead of the count. We'll start here with Cal Quantrill, 30-year-old right-hander who will make his 18th start of the season. For Cal this year, 10-7 when the Marlins have Cal on that rubber this season. 3-7, a 5.40 ERA, 76 2/3 innings pitched, 62 Ks to 23 walks. Craig Minervini actually mentioned it in Clayton's availability today. The strikeout to walk ratio has been really good for Cal. He did not factor on Saturday against the Brewers, allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, over 3 2/3, 6 Ks, 71 pitches. And again, Miami's won his last 4 starts. And this is a guy in Cal Quantrill who has turned it around for the most part. He hasn't done it in a ton of innings. No one has, called him an Iron Man. But first 6 starts, 8 ERA. Last 11, 3.96. He's done what he can in the time that he's been able to pitch. Career-wise against the Reds, 0-2, a 5 ERA in 3 career starts. Cal will go opposite Nick Lodolo. 27-year-old southpaw. We heard Tommy Thrall talk about him. He's really kind of breaking out of his shell this year. Season 4 with Cincy. 5-6, a 3.58 ERA, 100 2/3 innings pitched this season, 18 starts. He took the loss on Saturday against the Phillies in Philadelphia. 3 runs on 4 hits over 6 frames, 8 Ks. It was his 10th quality start of the season. And for Lodolo, he's gone on a nice run these last 4 starts, 21 2/3, 2.91 ERA, 23 Ks to 6 walks. The Reds are 3-1 in that span. Now, the one negative to Lodolo is he's kind of ran into a home run issue. Not in general, but here at Great American Ballpark. At home, Lodolo has allowed a long ball in each of his 9 starts. 11 of the 15 home runs he's given up this season have been in Cincinnati. Career-wise against Miami, I actually didn't write down the numbers. Bad job by me. 4-seamer, curveball, changeup, and a sinker. That's what Lodolo will feature. And again, Tommy Thrall talked about it. That changeup has been a really good pitch for Lodolo. Thank you very much, Craig Minervini. He just gave me Lodolo's career numbers against the Marlins, and that's just what you need. You need a broadcaster that has your back. Against the Marlins, Nick Lodolo is 2-1 with a 2.82 ERA, 22 1/3, 17 hits, 11 walks, 24 Ks, and 1 home run given up. Good job, Craig Minervini. And Cal Quantrill, again, will go opposite Nick Lodolo at 5:10. We will break. We'll have the great Craig on. And Jack McMullen, 5:10 first pitch. Marlins looking to win this series, a 4th consecutive one on the Marlins Radio Network.
Upgrade.
2-1. That one lifted out to left center field. Hill and Myers converging. Derek Hill calling for it. D. Hill's got it. And that is how this ball game ends. Horsepower on the hill. Edward Cabrera for 7, scoreless. Bender with a 1-2-3 8th, and Ronnie Enriquez does the same in the 9th. And for the first time since 2008, your Fightin' Fish have won 8 in a row.
Early. So they reacted and said, all right, let's go, breaking balls away.
First pitch, Stowers rips that one up the gut and through that hit the umpire Emil Jimenez. Jesus Sanchez around second. He comes in to score, but Jimenez is saying, hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on. That hit him on the leg, and that will in all likelihood.
The bench, and they're like, no, we see you as a future starter.
1-1. That one rolled over to short. Could be two. Lee on to second for one. On to first. Not in time. The fielder's choice. And that brings in the first run. Xavier Edwards scores from third base. It is an RBI for Otto Lopez. He's right back on that RBI groove. A 6-4 fielder's choice. It's 1-0 Marlins in the bottom of the first.
Right up there. Oh, goodness.
1-2. Otto on the move again, and Augustine smacks the ball out to left center. No doubt about it. Lucky number 13 for Augustine Ramirez. An ambush. 425 feet on the homer, and it's 3-0 Fish right away. Roster.
AT&T Internet 300 más una línea Unlimited de Starter SL. Requiere Xfinity Internet. Velocidades reales varían. Velocidades se reducen después del uso de 30 GB por línea. Los límites de datos y los ahorros reales varían.
Don't miss a moment of Marlins action. Download the iHeartRadio app. Make Fox Sports 940 the top preset. Then listen to every Marlins game this season. This is Marlins on deck. Steven Strom, Craig Minervini, and Jack McMullen. Series finale. Marlins looking to win this series with Cal Quantrill going opposite Nick Lodolo. This is my dream here. It's 4:54 right now. This is afternoon drive. This is everything I always ever wanted, guys.
Yeah.
How are we today? How are we doing? Are we ready? We ready for a series win and to get the heck out of here?
Do you think you'd be doing afternoon drive in Cincinnati?
Yeah, I did not. It's a good point by you. I did not think I was lighting up the phone line in Cincinnati, but here we are.
Yeah, I figure you were probably talking to people in Hoboken in your dreams. But
yeah.
Now you're talking to people in Elyria, Ohio. Elyria.
Ooh, that's good. And not on WKRP, an old show here.
No.
By the way.
No. Fox Sports 940 Miami. No.
WKRP in Cincinnati?
I just know WINZ.
Huge show.
That's all I know.
That's all I know.
Okay.
Okay, Cal Quantrill, last start of the first half. Craig, riddle me this. Explain this to me. How are the Marlins 10-7 with a guy that has not completed 6 innings this season for Miami?
Bunch of things. Number one, he's getting run support, obviously, so they're scoring some runs. They've won his last 4 starts as well, impressively. And Cal, in his first 4 starts, walked 9 guys in limited innings and struck out only 8. Since then, he has walked, I think the number is 14, and struck out 54, limiting the free pass. He's got to limit the free pass.
Yep.
That's just one
suppress
per start.
Walks.
Suppress walks means suppress runs very often. He's wiggled out of some jams. He's probably gotten yanked a few more times than he wanted to. But
and he'll show it.
He will show it, and you like the emotion. He's a fierce competitor, I think, as Tito Francona told you today about him.
Yes.
And you want your pitcher to stay in the game. Now, from the Marlins standpoint, you cannot argue that it has not worked. They're winning their way with maybe pulling them a little earlier than some would like, and having this excellent bullpen, which is pretty much refreshed right now to do the job. So it's been a combination of things, but the number one thing here is Cal has given him the shot, whether it's in the 3rd inning, the 4th inning, or if he gets pulled sometime in the 5th.
That's Craig Minervini, Jack McMullen with me now. Steven Strom, Marlins on deck. Okay, we're seeing another southpaw. Jack, yesterday, Abbott was pretty impressive. Marlins got some foot traffic early, couldn't plate the big one. But for Nick Lodolo in this lineup, no Sanchez, no Stowers for Clayton McCullough's Marlins. How do the Marlins manufacture some runs here?
Yeah, it's interesting because you look at Nick Lodolo's splits against lefties and righties, and then all of a sudden you see, wait, hold on, lefties have an 801 OPS against him, and righties have an OPS under 700. Why aren't the lefties in the lineup? Well, Clayton McCullough may be viewing this from a hitter perspective, saying, hey, our lefties would have some issue with that fastball running in on their hands from Lodolo. They have to beat him on the fastball because when this guy gets to the secondaries, if he's in a left-on-left matchup, he goes to the curveball. If he's in a left-on-right matchup, he goes to the changeup. That changeup is nasty, and Terry Francona said after his last start against the Phillies, that was the best his changeup has looked all year. When he gets that changeup going and it's dancing and it's falling away from right-handed hitters' barrels, he can be untouchable at points. And there's a reason you look right now and he's at 100 innings at a 3.5 ERA.
It's impressive.
It's really impressive, and opponents are hitting 165 against his changeup at the end of the day. So you got to beat him early. You got to beat him with the fastball. It is an unorthodox fastball.
We talked about what made Andrew Abbott's fastball special yesterday. It's that ride at the top. This is literally the exact opposite. It's a lot of run off of that. And aside from Chris Sale, he has the lowest arm angle among lefties in Major League Baseball. So it's a totally different look from the lefty that you saw yesterday.
I want to expand on one thing. Hopefully the Marlins can see some pitches, because another element, I mentioned the Stowers and Sanchez thing, the earlier you're going to see those guys is the earlier Nick Lodolo is out of this game. Yeah. Clayton McCullough will have them ready to go as soon as Lodolo is out of this game. So we'll see if the Marlins can maybe elevate that pitch count and get him out earlier in this game. Even if it doesn't result in runs, get Lodolo out. You get your big boys back in the lineup. We're going to break here. Jack and Craig have your call in about 12 minutes. Expo question, Steve's guarantee. And the Marlins will look to win their 4th consecutive series on the road on the Marlins Radio Network.
He comes set again. He's got Sanchez at first, Edwards at third. Nobody gone. The 2-2 to Otto Lopez is on the way. And that one, a ground ball, could be 2. Ortiz charging. He scoops to second for 1. On to first, not in time. And the first run comes in. Edwards scores from third base. It is a 6-4 fielder's choice, but another RBI for the RBI machine right now. Otto Lopez, it's 1-0 Fish in the first. That one, a little swinging bunt in front of the mound. The pitcher, Priester, picks it up. He lofts it. He airmails the first baseman, Bowers. Throw goes to third base. His ex was pushing, and that ball gets away from the third baseman, Durbin. So Edwards comes in to score. Sanchez pushes to second, and the Brewers are throwing the ball around the ballpark.
We would call that a snowball fight. That's what it looked like, especially on that sinker. He also throws that cutter, so that cutter's going to look the same.
This pitch to Connor Norby. He drills out to right center and deep. Frelick back, track, wall. It is gone. Early pyrotechnics. Connor Norby. He's getting right. 5th homer of the year. A solo shot to right center. And it's a 2-run game. 5-3 Milwaukee in the bottom of the 4th.
Decision that he was going to go.
First pitch to Otto Lopez. That's deep enough. That one drilled out to left and deep. It is gone. Tied at 5. Otto pounces.
I would love that, actually.
Imagine.
0-2. That one, a little swinging bunt, third base side. That's going to be a fair ball. Bender picks it up. He fires to first. It's in time. Anthony Bender saves a run. Pitchers are athletes.
Today, Terminix, where trust and protection hit a home run.
First pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network. This is Marlins on Deck. Thanks for hanging out with us on a now officially Thursday night. 5 o'clock here in Cincinnati. 5:10 first pitch. Cal Quantrill and Nick Lodolo will be the matchup on the mound tonight. And again, the Marlins are looking to continue this good run of baseball in general, but particularly on the road. They had an 11-game road streak snapped yesterday, and they can continue this series road streak on the road. They've won 3 straight away from the 305. Don't miss a moment of Marlins action. Download the iHeartRadio app, make Fox Sports 9 for the top preset, and then listen to every Marlins game this season. Let's get to our Expo question today. At Marlins Radio, what seasons did Tito Francona, the current Cincinnati Reds manager, manage our very own Cal Quantrill? Make sure to vote at Marlins Radio. And Cal had some great years, by the way. In 21 with Tito, 8-2, a 2.89 ERA, 149 and 2/3 innings pitched. And in 22, 15-5 with a 3.38 ERA, 186 and a third innings pitched. And how about 9-0 at home? It is time for Steve's Guarantee.
Batter up.
Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
Well, I mentioned Nick Lodolo's home run issues here in Cincinnati. He's allowed a long ball in each of his 9 starts. I like the Marlins to have 2 home runs, and they can very well come from Augustin Ramirez. We've talked about the home run issue. 11 of his 15 have been given up here at Great American Ballpark. The Marlins are going to have to slug here in Cincinnati to beat the Reds. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Craig Minervini, he's ready to rock. Starting lineups and first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins on Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. Marlins baseball, it's next. This is the Marlins Radio.